Kay, you're looking at extraordinary experiences or peak moments in our lives when we experience this sublime happiness and the time stands still. Are these peak moments what used to be described as religious experiences?
Interesting you should say that, because it has been referred to in a context as a religious experience, but if we take it as something that we all want in our lives, that is to lead a happy, fulfilling, perhaps even extraordinary life. This is my belief, hope other people subscribe to it. But if that's what we want, then enabling us or finding out what conditions we can set up, core conditions to enable this exciting peak moment to happen in our life, has to be an exciting prospect.
Yeah. So, how can we get ourselves on this path?
Start to get ourselves motivated towards having a peak. We can do several things. We can find something that we feel passionate about, that we like to study, that we like to master, like a musical instrument, like painting, like being really good at your job, being a fantastic teacher, a great communicator, great parent. And by honing those skills, we will find ourselves in another level of consciousness that takes us into another world. And the conditions we set up are therefore finding something that's of a passionate interest, honing those skills, becoming masterly, and having that as a goal, really.
And that may lead us eventually to these experiences.
Absolutely, that will set up the core conditions that we need to enable the peak to arise.
So I understand that the activities where peak moments occur most often are probably sex and music, but what other activities may trigger these extraordinary experiences?
Yes, sex and music, aren't we all interested in that? Yes, that is where it also happens. But aside from sex and music, it happens in the arts. It's when, for example, I was listening to a programme on the radio about the pop group Oasis. It was called Supersonic. And the two brothers, the Gallagher brothers, explained their experience of music ecstasy. And they said that when he looks at me and I look at him, that's all that matters. And that to me encapsulates what a peak moment is.
Is it possible to recreate these unique moments by vividly remembering the ones that we have already experienced?
In my experience, absolutely. I can visualize and use synesthesia, use all my senses. That's the sound, that's the visual, that's hearing the voice. And when I think about peak moments in my life, I actually get goosebumps. In fact, I've got goosebumps now even thinking about that I might actually be thinking about something, if that makes sense.
So your study is called Coaching as a Trigger for Peak Experiences. So do you think as a professional coach that people can be coached to achieve peak moments in their personal lives or in their careers?
I think people can be coached to find the core conditions that will enable them to lead a really happy, successful, prosperous life by looking for something that they're really passionate about, that they want to practice to mastery, and they set themselves their own individual goals.
And what if they never manage to achieve these ecstatic states? Won't they leave them feeling depressed and inadequate?
I think that is actually something that I'm a bit frightened about, because I remember interviewing somebody who said, well, I've never felt it. But actually the very fact that they become aware of something that hadn't been made aware to them before enabled them to start thinking along that path that, well, actually, maybe when I saw my son play football and he scored that goal and I felt something magical, exciting, because I could see how it made him feel, maybe he'll reflect and start to think about other instances that might lead him to fully acknowledge the state.
Thank you.